Well, hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Ascension Playground. My name is Ursi, and if you are as excited as I am to build your own personal 2026 Star Merkaba, that's basically a collage of your soul family connections. This is you remembering where you've been and who's there to support you, especially during this rather turbulent time that we're in. So, I was just so happy to wake up and couldn't wait to get ready to share with you. So, there's going to be like 4 steps that I'm going to share in 4 separate videos. This one will be step one. Um, how to find your star family connections using 3 or even 4 calculators. I'm sharing how I have navigated to help me understand, okay, here's my birth chart, but who else was there to help support me? This cosmic divine star energy. And so, if this rocks with you as well, you know that when we became so earth focused, um, first we thought that everything evolves around planet Earth. And then Galileo said, no, no, it's a solar system. And we're all actually in a vortex orbiting the sun. Well, I believe we're in this pocket of time where it's like it's no longer just about our Akashic records of our earthly lifetimes, like who was I in these past lives, but we're starting to engage more with the galactic. In particular, the technology is bringing back to us, especially through the James Webb Telescope, imagery and star clusters and nebulas, things that we just until we see it, we may not believe it. So, behind me is an example of how to bring in Metatron's cube or a Merkaba, a basically a solar light vehicle, your chariot that's going to help you. Okay, so that's my little intro spiel. I'm going to, again, this is step one, how to use the calculator. So let me go get my teaching glasses on, and I'll be right back. All right. So, as many of you know, I am just so delighted to be a certified practitioner through Julia Balaz's Quantum Soul Guidance practitioner's course. So, if you are at all interested in taking one of her online classes, please do the energy exchange and use one of my affiliate links as described below in the description. All right, so calculator one, free reports. So I am at what's called galacticastrochart.com. And there's something here called free reports. All right, so it's a free report. For those of you who have signed up for the Galactic Astrology 101 class, I have a link below, but you have access to the calculator. And for the practitioners, we have access to more information. And so I think I've just opened up my site as a certified practitioner. So fear not. Let's go ahead and figure out how to do the next step. All right. So she uses a tropical zodiac system, but if you prefer, there's a sidereal Vedic system there. I prefer the Placidus. There's also whole sign, equal house, etc. But to really see the stars in a way that we were trained in class, I'm going to keep it at Placidus. So let's say this person is born January. Oh, why don't I go ahead? Today is the 21st. So I hit the 21st, and then we'll go ahead and I'll type in 2026. Here we go. And the time, we'll just put 3 a.m. with 3 minutes. Then you enter the birthplace. Okay, so I'm going to just put San Jose and I'll start typing in California. There's a prompt, I click it. The nodes and Lilith. So I've clicked that I want all the opposition, squares, trines, and sextiles. Then I click this button called Generate Birth Chart Data. And what that does is it gives me, I'm scrolling up, it gives me this beautiful astrology wheel. And it tells me all the normal astrology information, houses and degrees. But to generate an extended report, I hit this button here, and I do want to hear the trines and I want to see the degrees because this first chart is rather broad. It shows me right here the galactic connections that are conjunctions. So someone being born on this birth date and time will have Lyra constellation and Aquila conjunct their sun in Aquarius. All right. Here, let me see. I think I can see without these glasses, but it's just giving me the broader constellation. It's not telling me the name of the star. So to get to the star, I hit generate extended report. Ooh, and here we have all this information. I'm going to scroll up to the top. Let me see if I can take off those little red lines. Here we go. Let me erase that. All right, again, I'm on galacticastrochart.com by Julia Balaz. We heard in the broader one that it was Lyra constellation and Aquila. But now we see the conjunctions specific to the stars. So you can imagine if we were doing a report, if I just said you're in the Milky Way galaxy, that's not specific enough. Well, let's say your star is called Sol, which is our sun. Well, that's more specific. So what we're looking at is the star named Aladfar in Lyra that is conjunct by 1 degree to the sun in Aquarius, coming in house 2. All right, do you see how that works? So we can claim Aladfar as one of our soul connections. This is family. If it's a conjunct, see this word conjunct? That means it's merged energy. Your soul connection with Aladfar would just be like, oneness, especially with your bright sun, part of your identity. The second soul connection as a conjunct, even closer, 0 degrees, 44 minutes. The star name is Altair in the constellation of the eagle, Aquila. So Lyra, if you learn about the star connections, is one methodology is looking at the story of the stars. Lyra is our genesis point, before all the other inhabitants and pioneering into other star systems. So Lyra on this side of the galaxy is our, basically home base. So I would say this person born on this date has an origin star, was there at the beginning with Aladfar and Lyra. And then Altair is Jupiter. Well, Aquila is Jupiter's eagle, carrying messages and lightning bolts. So that's how you find your star connections in Julia Balaz's calculator. Okay, don't worry about the trines or the sextiles. All right, we're just looking at conjunctions as the strongest aspect. If you want to take it to the next level, sure, you can bring in your oppositions. So conjunctions and oppositions. Oppositions are basically an axis of energy. We can say it's likely that that's star family, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you were there. It could have been an energetic of an opposition that was with someone. Let me give you an example. The moon, the natal moon in Pisces in the 3rd house, is opposing the royal star Regulus in Leo by 2 degrees, 6 minutes. So it could have been, let's just say for an analogy, that you were on the star Regulus, this incredible king star. Or it could mean that you met someone on a craft or had an experience of an opposition outside yourself with the other that needs to come in and be integrated, that your soul agreed, let's go back karmically and see if we can clean the slate in this lifetime. All right, that's probably too much information. But to keep it really easy, just look at all your conjunctions and make a list I would put, the star Aladvar in Lyra. I would put as a star family Fomalhaut, okay, here in Piscis Austrinus. This is not Pisces constellation. This is the mother fish of the two little Pisces fish, okay? So these are the fun things you get to learn when you take class. All right, scrolling down, and you can see there's a lot of galactic super cosmic points happening in this chart, but try and ignore those for right now. For me, if you happen to have a conjunction, let's say, or an opposition to a galactic point, meaning the galactic center, super galactic center, the great attractor, or the Shapley supercluster, for me, those are like it's not like a destination. It's more like using a conveyor belt, a portal, a stargate. It is the super highway of sorts. So you can claim it, but as far as my star family, um, stick with the stars that are in specific constellation at this point, just to make it easy. All right. So, yes, it's a lot of information. Welcome to learning about the names of your star families. So, what guided me to learning about the stars really began while I was doing a Stargate experience in Mount Shasta with Pragit and Julian. It was one of the first training for facilitators of working with the Stargate. And I had these experiences where we're meditating, and suddenly I got like basically a poke. And I'm the type of personality where I do think I'm the doubting Thomas. So I really need that poke or wake up. Like I'll get a vivid dream, but I'll believe basically a poke more than I will um, a vivid dream. And thank you, Star Family. I don't want to see beings like in 3D while I'm awake. So that's what I needed. And so I felt that energy. I felt beings around me. My friend Kathy, she was doing, we were doing the mirror and seeing our past human lives. And she could actually see star beings coming in for me. But I wanted to know the name of my star families. So when I need support, knowing the name, how to bring in the frequency, I'm just going to say the Nam, the Sat Nam, knowing the power and truth of the Nam, it made more sense. And for those of you who like fairy tales, it's like Rapunzel, right? He said, I will thread your straw into gold, alchemy, and you will be mine unless you guess my name. So, with the power of a name, we basically are able to invite in those specific star families and call for co creation. Hey, man, if they're family, what is there to fear? Okay. So that's how I look at it. It's part of me, it's part of my soul connection. So, the power of the name. Would you like to know some other calculators that I use to backfill? Because now that you know the name of the stars, and let's say, okay, resources are a little tight right now. Maybe you can't afford to sign up for classes, but let's go, experience where are these other places that I can learn about it on my own before I jump in and commit to a class. So the second calculator that I like to use to basically help me see the data that I get from Julia's, so much information that helps me see my star family connections. But if you want to take it to the next level, I'll share a couple other calculators that I use that I like to dovetail the information with. You have to understand, I'm a double Virgo. I love data. And by processing it all, I can bring a through line like, oh, look, ABC, and we don't need all this other stuff. So let me share with you astro.com. Many of you probably already have heard of it, but for the newcomers to astrology, I think this is an absolutely invaluable site. Here it is, astro.com. The other name is Astrodienst. So what you want to do is go under free horoscopes. We click that one. And you'll see there's a lot of information that you get for free, like a taste test here on astro.com. I'm going to go ahead. I've set up an account. So I'm going to, well, actually, I'm already logged in and I go into my stored data and I'll show you me. Here I am. And after I've clicked on my own personal information in my astro.com charts, I hit extended chart selection, this one. See the pointer? Okay. And here I am, Ursula O'Farrell. And if I just hit show the chart, here it is. It comes in. You can click on the image so you can see it more clearly. Here I am, but I'm not really seeing the beautiful stars, the fixed stars that we talk about in Julia's courses. So I go back. Here I am. And to add the fixed stars in, let's say from that one chart that we just looked at and created, I want to add Aladfar and all the the I can't even speak. The two stars that we talked about that were conjunctions. All right. So here we go. I'm going to go under chart selection. See the green box? I go back, and this is just a basic way. You can see here 6 fixed stars in the zodiac are already checked, but I want to add my own stars per that natal chart. I'm going to keep the vertex in. I'm going to take off Earth for right now. And do you see this where it says list of fixed stars? I can click it. And lo and behold, look at all the names of all the fixed stars. You can scroll down to see, let's see, one of the stars we looked at, Aladfar in Lyra. So I'm not putting in the constellation name Lyra. I'm putting in the star name Aladfar. All right. So let me hit this button down here called Show the Chart. And I double click on that. Here we go. So Aladfar is sitting in Capricorn 29 degrees for this birth chart, this birth moment. So I was born a long time ago in 1962. So Aladfar, the fixed stars don't move very much. That's where they get the term fixed, but they do move. So when, many decades have gone by. So my natal Aladfar in Lyra is sitting in my 5th house in proximation to my natal Saturn. Okay. So that's how you add in. I'm going to go back here. We can add one more star if you want to play. So if I want to look at go back to my chart selection and that other star's name, here we go. We'll add it. I'll put a comma. So the constellation was Aquila, the eagle, but the name of the star was Altair. And this is why it's good that you're writing a list of the names of the stars. So I go to list of fixed stars. Again, I could go and scroll down and find Altair. There's just a lot of alls. Let's see, I'm scrolling down. This is part of the fun process, right? So here I could either check the box Altair in Aquila, or I just spelt it in. I would suggest go ahead and first try spelling the name of the star. But if you don't find it, then scrolling through this list of fixed stars. Now I want to go hit show the chart and then click on it. So Altair is in Aquarius. So they're right next to each other. They're all working in proximation to my natal Saturn. So this is how you can put the fixed stars into an astrological wheel. It's a wonderful, wonderful program to have. I'll show you another fun thing. If I want to find out from my birth chart what's happening with these two stars in the current day, so I hit this box called plus with transits. All right, let's see. And I scroll in a little closer. So I can see that Altair and Aladfar has moved a little bit, but by moving just that little bit, I can see, wow, I didn't even know this. you see over here, Aladvar is at currently a transit of 0 degrees Aquarius, 24 minutes. And my natal Saturn is sitting at 5 degrees of Aquarius, 18 minutes. So now we're in a kind of a conjunct aspect. So working with that, Aladvar, the Lyran energy in my Saturn of the structure of how I work with time and how I organize myself in the fifth house of self expression and creativity. Romance is in there and children, the fifth house. So who knows what's happening over there? So that's working with galacticastrochart.com. And then it's also backfilling with astro.com. But the fun program that I just can't wait to share with you, I didn't know about this website until I joined Julia's class. And so many of my colleagues share information. So there's this kind of cross pollination happening. So as we all study together, it's like, hey, what else do you know? And it's the only group I found that I can be my full woo woo self in as we learn, research, explore, and expand together. All right, everybody. So this is a fabulous other support calculator if you want to learn about the stars in your chart. What you do is you go to astro-seek. You got to put that dash in there, and it's .com. So you go under free horoscopes. I mean, there's so much here. It says birth natal chart online calculator. All right. So we click on that, and lo and behold, here we go. I scroll down. All right. Let's go ahead and put a birth date in. What the heck? We'll stick with mine. And I'll type in 1962, long time ago. And then we put the birth time in. And here we are. And then the birth city, we just start putting in the name and it prompts us. So yes, I was born in Hawaii, got that Huna aloha spirit. And then we push the button calculate chart. All right. So I love how clean this astrological wheel is, right? So there's so many bells and whistles that are free here. But if I want to put in my natal fixed stars, I want to see them. AstroSeek does a great job doing this. So you scroll down to this orange colored area, and there's something called fixed stars here. See, it's really important that you see this. You can certainly go to asteroids, but we're talking about fixed stars. I scroll up and now see where it says it brought in 30 major fixed stars. Julia's calculator has 64 amazing stars in it. None of these calculators is all comprehensive of all the stars in the heavens that might have been lighting your path in the moment of your birth to add to your cosmic portraiture. But we're going to get at this in this now moment, we're going to feel into, all right, show me who wants to be seen today as you're building your Star Merkaba collage. All right, so for me, what I like is you can actually see on the wheel. See, nothing is showing next to my Saturn, well, except, of course, my South Node, but I'm going to meet other stars where the little orange-brown markers are. Okay, so you can go around the wheel. You're going to see the degrees right here. So let's start with Mirak. It's in Aries at 29 degrees. That's an interesting point to be at, the anaretic degree. So then I go here. Here is Mirak. All right, so I'm looking though for the soul star conjunctions. So you go around the wheel and here's my Mars. Look at Sirius. So I'm going to go over here to Sirius, working with my natal Mars. So my Mars is in Cancer. So I'm going to look here first at Cancer in the 10th house. Here is Sirius, and it's at 13 degrees, 33 minutes. That's rather auspicious with the 1333, 3 threes. All right. But there's another star working with my Mars, how I assert myself in the 10th house in Cancer. I mean, Mars doesn't really like to be underwater with Cancer. However, the light of these beautiful fixed stars is engaging with my Mars. Let's look at Canopus. Let me click on this because this is a star that I'm not really familiar with so much. So when I look at it, oh, look, Canopus is the alpha star, the Alpha Carina. So that gives me a fun thought about let me go Google or even Chat GPT Carina constellation. Okay, so with Astrology King, I'm going to go ahead and hit the search button for that beautiful star, Canopus, all right, which is in the constellation of Carina. I didn't find it in Carina constellation, so here we go, Canopus. Fixed star Canopus. I click on that. See that? And it shows me, so there's this image of a ship and it's the keel of the ship. Anyway, there's so much information here. The sun joins or conjuncts Canopus on July 6th. There's so much information. It's remarkable. Okay, so Canopus, that's how you backfill. So Astrology King doesn't necessarily have the calculator. It has more of the information and will show you the picture of the star. All right, so let's summarize. To put together your Star Merkaba collage, for those of you who've made it to the Zoom meeting, I've sent you a PDF with your galactic astro chart report from Julia Balaz's calculator. For me, that's the quintessential calculator to begin with to get all the data. Then work with your conjunctions, find the name of the star. You can go into astro.com to find out where it's located on the wheel. Okay. And then I also go to astro-seek to see the stars in another way and to find, like, I like to toggle between astro.com and astroseek. And then Astrology King is a fabulous place to learn more about what that star and its constellation means in the heavens. Okay, that was a lot. I'm going to come back next. Let's see. So this is I've already done an introduction. This is step 1, how to find your star family connections through the calculators. All right, and to learn a little bit more. Again, if it's a conjunction, you've merged your soul with that star family. One of them may end up in one of your collage spheres. So when you find out what the star looks like, you're welcome to Xerox that image. If you want to do old school, just cut and paste, or even really old school, don't even get the image, just write Canopus on one of the spheres. Okay, again, it's a conjunction. It's going to help you if you were guided to that star to work with you in 2026. All right. I hope this is helpful. Stay tuned because I'm going to be coming back on how to create your template of a Star Merkaba. Again, your solar light body to help you in the quantum fields as we all greet 2026. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you next time on the Ascension Playground. Bye for now.